You just watched another self-improvement video and think to yourself, today is gonna be the day where I'm going to finally change my life. So, you start to train 3 times a week. The first 2 weeks go pretty well actually, but in the third week, your motivation fades and so does your new habit. You've been in that kind of situation before, haven't you? In this video, I'm going to teach you how to build good, lasting habits while speaking from my own experience and what James Clear describes in his book Atomic Habits. If you want to check out the book yourself after the video, I'll leave a link down in the description. Let's get right into this. Now, the first crucial thing you have to do is to work on your self-image. While you might have a lot of motivation now, having the wrong self-image will block your progress and weaken your ability to surpass your own limitations. For example, if you want to start to jog once a week, then you shouldn't be thinking, I'd like to jog once a week. Instead, you should be thinking, I am jogging once a week. At first, it might sound silly to deceive yourself, but over time, the urge to prove yourself right and the motivation you will be having will inevitably push you to do it. I myself did this when I first started to train half a year ago. Instantly, I thought of myself as the new Chris Bumstead, and I'm better than everyone my age. I know, I sound like an idiot, but this actually helped me to stick with my habit and gave me a boost of self-confidence which I needed to do other habits as well. Second of all, you need to clearly plan out your habits. What do I mean by that? Well, obviously you're gonna have a lot of motivation when you want to start a new habit, but that alone will make your first attempt weird and not effective. So you need to plan these 3 aspects: when, where, and how. When and where to do your habit is the easiest part. You just fill out the following sentence. I will do certain activity from time to time at certain location. Important is that you pick a similar time and day. For instance, I will train every Monday from 6 till 7 p.m. in the gym. Picking the same time and day makes it easier to build your habit and to plan it into your schedule. Also important is the location where you'll be doing your habit. Like in the example, the gym is a place where your full focus is on the training itself. You will see the heavy weights and the buffed up guys and will ultimately be motivated to train. While your living room, on the other hand, has a lot of distractions like a TV or your computer, where you'll likely be wanting to play video games or do other stuff. Anyway, so remember to pick a location where you are able to fully focus on the habit that you will be doing, and where you won't be distracted by other chores or thoughts. Then plan out exactly what you will be doing. For example, the track you're gonna run, the exercises you're gonna train, etc. Just plan it out so carefully that you won't struggle while performing the habit itself. Before I started to train, I watched hours and hours worth of content about training, exercises, set, rep numbers, how long to pause a set, and so on. When I then started to train, it was actually very easy because I prepared myself enough so that I was able to fully focus on how to perform the habit and not on what to do next. Obviously, you don't need to prepare yourself by researching hours and hours worth of content, but you should at least research the most important information so that you don't have to interrupt yourself while making your first attempt. Then, when you're at the start of executing your habit, you should take it easy on yourself and firstly get to know the habit itself and the sequence to go through it. The first tries shouldn't be perfect, but you should use them to collect valuable experience that you can use for the later tries. The first time I went running, I only focused on 2 things, which were how to breathe properly and how fast to run. The next time I did my habit, I was actually able to use this information to structure my track into parts and even got to measure my time. Once you've got that, you will have to set a goal that is just achievable or slightly beyond your limits so that you have a fair challenge while not completely humiliating yourself. This is an obvious but important step because making it too hard on yourself will ruin your motivation for the habit itself. For example, when I first started to meditate, I was so confident that I said to myself to meditate for 1 hour a day. Let me repeat, 1 hour a day. And guess how long I stuck to that habit? Exactly One day, and then I left it. But a few days later, I tried it again, except this time with 5 minutes a day. It was still surprisingly hard, but achievable, so that the next days I was able to do it again, and again, and again, and for another week, for another week, for another month, and so on. I was even able to increase my goal to 10 minutes and now 15 minutes a day. So keep in mind that once you're getting better at performing your habit, that you should increase its difficulty while keeping in mind not to overdo yourself like I did. As we discussed a few points earlier, the location surrounding you is very important for building good habits. So, the next tip is to decorate your environment in a way that you will be constantly reminded of the good habits you want to cultivate. If you want to read a few pages of a book every day, it's a very good idea to lay that book openly on your table and not hidden in some closet. If first thing in the morning you want to hydrate yourself, then it is a good idea to place a cup of water or water bottle right next to you so that it will be the first thing you will be reminded of that morning. I myself have designed my room in a way so that I'm constantly reminded of the good habits I want to do, and so that it is impossible to skip a good habit without having guilty feelings afterwards. In general, design your environment in a way so that the good habits are attractive and obvious for you. Then, after you've finished your habit, it's a very good idea to track your progress in a chart or a calendar that you keep visible in your room. Because after a few days, you will be having a streak that will motivate you to keep going. If you have a streak of 5 days in a row, you will be edging to complete the full week. I myself make a list of things that I want to accomplish that day and tick them off once I completed them. Ticking off another thing on your list is such a big dopamine burst because of the satisfaction you will receive, like in a video game for example. Also, after you've completed your habit, it's a very good idea to treat yourself with another good habit. For example, taking a walk outside, playing with your pet, or taking a shower. The reward itself will push you to complete your habit, and the good feeling of the reward afterwards will remind you of the good habit itself, so that the next time you will initiate this good feeling with your good habit and will be more likely to do it again. Another great way to build good habits is to hang around the people that have already established the habit you want to cultivate, so that you will be affected to do the same. Simply said, we humans are just tribe creatures who want to contribute to our tribe and be respected by it. If your tribe, or simply said friends, do things like training or building a business, then you don't want to be excluded by them, so you will probably be affected to do the same. Sadly, the same thing goes for the bad stuff as well. So if your friends party every Friday, drink or do weed, then you will be likely to join in on the fun, to be appreciated by your friend group and to fit in. There's also this great saying by Jim Rohn which states, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." But it doesn't necessarily have to be a friend group, like you're probably doing right now. You're watching Andrew Tate, David Goggins, Hamza, Andrew Huberman, Jordan Peterson, and so on. And these people will also motivate you to get work done and to generally improve your life. So in general, keep in mind that the people you surround yourself with have a big impact on your decision making and can affect you positively and negatively. The last tip is to make a bet with your friends and family that if you don't do your habit, you will have to be punished by giving away $10 or giving away your computer for a whole week. The probable punishment you will receive, and your friends and family holding you accountable, will push you to do the habit itself because you don't want to lose something that's of value from you and you don't want to appear weak in front of your friends and family. If you make the bet with your best friend, it is even more effective because you don't want to look irresponsible and weak in front of your best friend, or do you? You obviously have to be true to yourself and have to find people whose opinion is worth something for you. It is an extreme way to motivate yourself, but also extremely effective. So try it out with habits that are hard to build for you, and I guarantee you the execution will be so much easier. So, these are all the tips you'll need to build good, lasting habits and to get yourself going on your self-improvement journey. If you still have questions about the topic or want to recommend another idea for a later video, please leave a comment down below. Also, check out the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'd recommend this book to anyone who wants to strengthen their foundation for the self-improvement journey. Always keep your focus on your purpose. See you next time.